All right, so my session is about beyond food, 4 moves that finally fix weight, energy, and health for good. My name is Pamela Pedrick. I am the host and the creator of the Holistic Health and Weight Loss docu-series. I'm also the creator of the Beyond the Fork Academy, my 6-month intensive academy. And so busy women come to me when they are ready to ditch the yo-yo diets, the weight regain, and the constant fatigue, and they want natural, holistic strategies and systems that work for their own unique bodies, something that's customized and personalized to them. And when we work together, we help get their bodies to be fat burning machines. They release the weight, they get fit, they get healthy, and they feel they are light and free. Freedom is what I hear from a lot of women that you want. Do you want some freedom? Let me know if that's you as well. Do you want some freedom today? Let's get you that. Let's get you some freedom today. All right, so a little bit about me, because why you struggle with weight loss and health was the reasons why I struggled with weight loss and health. Because diets only focus on food and exercise, and they ignore you as the whole person that you are. See, back in my days, I had started my first official diet back in my junior year in college because I'd gained 25 pounds my freshman year. Not the freshman 15, I gained 25 pounds. And so I started to watch my fat, watch my calories, eat the low fat, fat free foods, eat the low calorie type foods, use a lot of artificial sweeteners, ate those diet type foods, and I worked out because that's what they told you to do. Eat less, move more. Watch your calories, move more. And yeah, I did release some weight, but therein started my whole years of yo-yo dieting. I yo-yo diet so much. I went from diet to diet to diet, weight loss program to weight loss program. That was like my second full-time job. So I had my epiphany. I call it my own personal kind of come to Jesus moment where I just had this realization. I had just come home from a really lovely birthday, went out to eat with family and friends, had room for dessert, even though I really didn't have room for dessert. I made room and proceeded to come home with the rest of my red velvet birthday cake, like the whole rest of the birthday cake. And even though I had a lovely dinner, I proceeded to sit on my green couch with my black cat Judah on one side, my gray tabby cat Zacchaeus on the other side, with the whole cake on my lap. Not just one slice, not just two, the whole red velvet cake that was left, which was quite a lot. And I proceeded to eat the red velvet cake, watching a romantic comedy, a movie that I'd seen a lot. I'd seen it quite a few times because it was my all-time favorite movie back then. And when it gets to the part where the main actor, her character is overweight, and she decides New Year's resolutions, I'm gonna get healthy and release weight and stop smoking so much, stop drinking so much. And you see the whole video montage and the music playing in the background, and she's filling her refrigerator with fresh, wholesome food, and she's working out at the gym, and she's throwing her cigarettes away and her alcohol. And I literally, with my fork in my hand, fist raised in the air, I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. And I thought to myself, well, where's my you go, girl moment? Where's my own you go, girl moment? Is this going to be the rest of my life? In my very early 30s, is this going to be my whole 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond? See, at this point in my life, because I was so over the whole dieting, I said, screw it all. This must be what I'm going to weigh, my highest weight ever, exhausted all the time. This is just me and my body. But see, I was also binge eating, but I didn't acknowledge it because it only happened during the weekends. Get my binge food Thursday, Friday night, binged all weekend long. And so I did something different this time around because I'd done a lot of diets. I put my research cap on. I'm a nurse. I love science, and I researched a lot. What is going to help me to release the weight? And I found that there's a lot missing. One of which is diets only focus on food and exercise. So if you're only focusing on food and exercise, you're missing the rest of you because it does impact your ability to release weight and to get healthy. This can also lead to the yo-yo cycle, right? Going from diet to diet to diet, program to program to program. For me, I was trying to find a missing piece. And then I got to the point where I felt like maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the one that all these programs don't work for. And so you watch the fat, you count your calories, you count your points, but yet they're not addressing the rest of you. See, it's not your fault. You just have not been given a system that was designed for your body, just like I wasn't back in the day, because I was following very cookie cutter type programs that saw me as one of many instead of one of one, the unique woman that I am. So remember, I did the research. Well, here's what I found. Traditional diets and most weight loss programs, they focus on what you eat and how you move, like what you see above the water, of the part of the iceberg that's above the water. But in my research, I found your hormones impact you. I'm talking about leptin, ghrelin, insulin, cortisol, human growth hormone, not just those hormones that hit us ladies when we hit perimenopause. I learned there is a reason why we're regaining the weight back, which I did. I felt like I lost and gained the same 10 to 20 pounds over and over and over again. There's a reason why. They don't address your body legacy. We actually had this discussion earlier. See, when we're young, especially women, when we're young, we're talking elementary school, middle school, and whoever our primary female caregivers are at that time, whether it be mom, auntie, sister, grandma, what was their view of health and weight and food? See, I'm a child of the 80s. And so it was very count your calories, do hardcore cardio. And so I had 3 women in my life, my mom, my aunt, my grandma, no shame or blame on them. They were just doing what they were told to do, who were counting the calories, getting the scale, getting upset when they gained the weight. And so I brought all that same kind of mentality into my adulthood, stressing over my weight, watching what I was eating when I first, started dieting, and stressing if I gained a pound back. That's your body legacy. Then there's something called your body in protector mode. Weight can be a physical barrier to prevent you from future harm. It's your unconscious mind driving this. It's keeping you in survival mode. See, weight for me was actually a physical barrier because I had past trauma and betrayal in my life. So I was like, stay away from me. Don't get too close. My body was in protector mode. So anytime I tried to release weight, my body was like, oh girl, but I'm really trying to protect you. You might be hurt if you release the weight. There's a lot that goes on psychologically on an unconscious, subconscious level when it comes to weight and health. Then there's stress. Oh my gosh, I was stressed. I worked in a very busy emergency room. But I didn't feel stress unless we were short-staffed, right? Potentially you are in a chronic state of stress, but you're not feeling it. But your body's giving you some signals that you are. So that chronic stress will make you hold on to the weight and also gain weight, especially around the midsection, the belly. Okay. Then there's sleep. Wow, I was like, there's a crap load of stuff that's missing from diets and a lot of weight loss programs. How are you sleeping? Are you getting into deep sleep? Yes, REM is important, but deep sleep is where you heal and where you rejuvenate, like our cells are going through some repair. Our human growth hormone is released, which we're going to talk about in a second. And that helps you to burn fat more efficiently. You have to get into deep sleep. Good quality sleep is essential, whether you're sleeping 5 hours or 9 hours at night. Because as working in a very busy emergency room, very stressed, I maybe slept 4 to 5 hours a night just because of long shifts. Then there's self-sabotage. Why are you self-sabotaging? What's going on underneath? Why is it that you go to a, sugar-free boot camp, to learn how to get sugar out of your eating, but as soon as that boot camp ends, if it's not the next day, it's 2 or 3 days later, you're back to eating tons of sugar. What's going on? You have every intention to eat healthy or get a workout in, something happens. You're self-sabotaging. How did you end up in the pantry eating these Oreos? Well, how did I get here? Right? Self-sabotage. Then toxicity. What is your toxic burden internally? We're going to talk about that in a moment too, because toxins that we're eating via our food, there are some foods that are very toxic, pesticides and herbicides, but it's also the products you put on your body, your sunscreen, your lotions, your makeup, your shampoo. And for us women, we're inundated by about 200 chemicals by the time we officially start our day. Makeup, shampoo, conditioner, soap, perfume, mousse gel, whatever you do use to do your hair. Toxicity. Why? It's because toxicity, fat is actually a protective mechanism to prevent you from getting really, really sick. Fat is actually, your body will actually make you create more fat cells if you're too toxic in your body. It's a protective mechanism. Then it's your identity. Is your identity one that, for me, I was a binge eater, that I am statement. I am a binge eater. What is your identity? I am a woman who is not healthy. I am a woman who it's difficult to release weight. I'm speaking to women because that's who I work with. But for men too, what is your identity? If you have certain health issues, you're diabetic, if you're autoimmune, sometimes your identity is your disease state. Your identity and your unconscious mind will, which I'm going to talk second, will drive your actions. Yeah, so there's a whole lot missing from traditional dieting. A huge component is, and it's so much more than mindset, but that's the catchphrase of the day. It's your unconscious mind, which is also known as your subconscious mind, below the surface of what's driving your actions. See, the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, it automates processes. Think about your body. Do you have to think about your heart beating? Like, do you have to heart beat, 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 beat? No. It does it on its own. You're not even noticing that your heart's beating unless you have palpitations, or like you're feeling, okay, my heart's a little racy, I can feel the palpitations. Do you have to be aware of when you blink your eyes? Like blink, blink, blink. No, it's automated. So the unconscious subconscious mind automates processes, our breathing, our heart rates, us blinking, all those things that we don't even have to think about it. Plus, it automates other things externally, right? Drive to work. How did I get here? I don't even remember the drive. But it also automates your actions when it comes to health and wellness, when it comes to all areas of life. But we really see this when it comes to health and wellness and weight loss. Because if your unconscious, subconscious mind is it's like a computer, in or out. It's binary, yes, no, hot, cold, in, out. So if you're feeding your unconscious mind these actions that aren't conducive to you releasing weight and getting healthy, it's going to pull you back to what you gave it. Eating the sugar, binge eating, self-sabotaging, because that's what you're currently doing. So your unconscious mind goes, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. We're automating these processes. So have you ever felt like for every 2 steps forward, you're like 3 steps back? I'm going great, and then not so great. I'm going great, and then not so great. Yes, oh, wait, uncomfortable, let me go back here. And it's like you're going back and forth, which is why I gained and released the same 10 to 20 pounds, because my unconscious, subconscious mind was automating those processes. So you take all of this together, what you eat, your movement, hormones, what you take all this together, and this is why many women, as high as 95%, who release weight gain it back again. It's because you're not addressing the whole you, what I call the whole woman framework. We need to address every single one of these. So here are some common mistakes. I've made them all. Maybe you're making them or have made them as well. It happens, we all do this because you don't know what you don't know. Returning to old dieting rules. Oh, I'll just go back to what I did before. That worked for me. But in this season of life, it's not working. And do you truly, really are consistent with that? Like, I'll just eat less, I'll move more, or add more cardio. I'll just go to the gym an extra day this week. I'm not saying that's not valid, but oftentimes we go to what we think is going to work without addressing the whole you. But you don't know shame or blame. You don't know what you don't know. Or ignoring or not being aware of your own personal food intolerances. Completely different than a food allergy. Peanuts is a food allergy for a lot of people. They can die because your airway closes up. You can't get a breath in. Food intolerance is different. Food intolerances are foods that your body doesn't like. It sees it as a foreign invader, and it throws off an inflammatory response because it's trying to get rid of it. It's trying to fight it. You don't know what's going on except, oh, you're a little bloated, maybe a little headachy. Oh, my nose is running all of a sudden. Oh, I'm very mucusy. Weight gain. Difficult to release weight because if you don't know what your food intolerances are and you continue to eat them, you're just going to be inflamed, which is the number one driver. Inflammation is. By the way, when you hear the word inflammation, think the word fire. Your body is on fire. And so how it gets rid of the fire is weight gain and water, like fat and water to calm that down. So food intolerances, inflammation, weight gain. Following cookie cutter plans that don't work with or for your body. A lot of diets out there that are very cookie cutter. They put you on the same eating plan. They put you on the same workout regimen. And if they address stress or other things, it's very foundational, very minimal, and it might not work for you or it might not be feasible for your very busy lifestyle. Another common mistake keeping you stuck, waiting for motivation. Yeah, I just need to get motivated. Yeah, I just need to get motivated. I'm just waiting for that motivation or waiting for when life settles down. Can I just speak truth to you? Can I just be honest with you and speak truth to you? Do I have your permission to do that? Life is never going to settle down. Something else is going to come up, and then something else is going to come up. It's never going to settle down. Why? Because life is not static, it is dynamic. Life, I always say, is lifing on us. So these are common mistakes, and these mistakes repeat because, as I shared on the last slide, the unconscious mind and your identity will drive these actions and keep you in survival mode. And survival mode, the unconscious mind does not differentiate between, oh, this survival mode, oh, it's not really healthy, and yeah, not really joy in your life. It just knows its sole purpose is to help you live, survive, help you not die. It doesn't differentiate between this is a poor way of doing it, an unhealthy way of doing it, or yeah, this is a healthy way of doing it. This is better. This is optimal. It just knows you didn't die. So you didn't die from the weight gain. You didn't die from the health issues. You didn't die from the self-sabotage. So your unconscious mind will cause circumstances to where you repeat these patterns, which is why you feel like you're this pendulum. I have every intention to release weight. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And your unconscious mind goes, yeah, we're going to do it. And you're like, oh, this is uncomfortable. I'm not going to do it anymore. And your unconscious mind goes, yeah, we're not going to do it anymore. It says yes to everything. And then you're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to start this diet. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And then 3 days in, oh, I don't have time. I can't do it anymore. And your unconscious mind goes, yeah, you have no time. You can't do it anymore. It's automating to saying yes to everything, even things that you don't want. But once again, no shame or blame because you don't know what you don't know. Now, there are some hidden dangers, some risks to traditional weight loss approaches. And I gotta say, diets and a lot of weight loss programs, they're just treating the symptoms. They're just putting the Band-Aid on the symptom. They're not really getting to the root of what's driving everything. Why you're stuck in these patterns, why you're gaining the weight back, why you're gaining weight again. Or maybe you've hit perimenopause, you're like, holy smack, I just gained 20 pounds overnight. Did not happen overnight though. So diets are treating the symptoms. See, weight and poor health is usually your body telling you something is going on. It is your body's telling you something's going on. So your diets are Band-Aids. They're not root cause solutions. And they can be quick fixes, meaning, yeah, you might see some results, but it's not a long-term result. Then there's fads. 5 years ago, keto came back out, which keto can work for some women, but not every woman. So when talking about fads, it's those things that are like, oh, that's new again. Oh, going over here. Oh, go there. And guess what the recent fad is? Your GLP-1 peptides. Let's talk about this for a hot second. So Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, semaglutide, they were designed specifically for those who have type 2 diabetes, where they've made all type 2 diabetics, where this population, for those who did all the lifestyle changes, like they were moving their body, they were eating less sugar, they were eating healthy food for them, but yet their numbers still needed assistance. They were still trending high. So when these peptides were found, again, because they've been around, they noticed this is going to help. This actually helps to lower their A1C, to get their blood sugar numbers where it needs to be. But what they also notice is like, oh, they're actually losing some weight and a significant amount of weight. Here's what happens and why it works. It actually delays gastric emptying, meaning when you eat a meal, everything slows down, right? Slows down. It's delayed gastric emptying, meaning everything slows down. And when everything slows down, you're not getting the rush of sugar because it slows down. So your sugar's more stable. Okay. But here's what happens. And it's almost like Oprah Winfrey, and you get a GLP-1 and you get a GLP-1, you get a GLP. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying there's a risk to it. And here's the risk if you're doing it specifically for releasing weight without strict provider oversight. Okay. Because I'm seeing a lot of clinics, a lot of people doing it, and there's no strict provider oversight. Is that you're not hungry, your appetite significantly decreased, and you're only eating about a quarter of what you used to eat. Now we're seeing nutritional deficiencies and gaps. Oh, that's not good. Now we're seeing muscle wasting because you're not eating enough protein for your body. And women, perimenopause, menopause, you need to have protein. Why? It's because you're not hungry. But also what I see is when you don't have the money to continue on that GLP-1, guess what happens? Your appetite comes back. You didn't do anything to put into place to prevent the overeating, to prevent those unhealthy habits from coming again. And I worked in a clinic that had the GLP-1s, but we had strict provider oversight, and I worked with them with this right here. Because what's going to happen when we start to titrate you down and wean you off, or maybe you don't have the money and you have to completely stop cold turkey, what's going to happen when everything comes back full force? And it will. So muscle wasting, because you're not getting enough protein, nutrient gaps, because you're not eating enough nutrients with your food. And also you can have pancreatitis, stomach issues, your colon can shut down. So there's a risk, there are hidden dangers. So if you are on a GLP-1, once again, no blame or shame, just be mindful of the risk. And I just say, make sure your provider has strict oversight. See, the clinic that I worked at, because I consulted for a couple of functional wellness companies, functional medicine companies, offices, is we had strict provider oversight, but we also did something called an in-body, not just the scale. The scale tells me nothing. It does. I'm going to get in my soapbox about scales right now. It tells me nothing. It doesn't tell me, did you lose muscle or did you lose fat? An in-body or psych-Q, and there's other things, we need to look at your lean muscle mass. Are you losing muscle? Traditional diets, you lose muscle and fat. But we don't want to lose muscle. So every month, clients would get on that who are on the GLP-1s. Let's look at that. Oh, you're starting to lose muscle. Let's put things into place to make sure you don't lose more. Get tested for your nutritional deficiencies. Where are you? Are we slacking off somewhere? Do we need to supplement? Do we make sure you're eating the food that has those vitamins and minerals in it? Okay. So there's risks. And they get you quick results, but oftentimes at the cost of your own health. And then you're back to where you initially started. But here's the truth. I said I asked for permission to speak truth to you today. Here's the truth. Your body can heal itself and you can lose weight for good. Yes. How do you know the body can heal itself? Have you ever had a paper cut? I think we all can say a paper cut or cut yourself. Now, if it was deep, you might have needed stitches, right? You might need assistance, some resources, some tools, and you might have needed an antibiotic cream just to make sure infection doesn't occur. But see, even antibiotics works with your body's natural immune response. But with a paper cut, it heals. If you've ever broken a bone and you need a cast, my aunt needed some rods in place when she broke her wrist about 18 months ago, had a surgery. See, even that is supportive. It's a tool, but your body heals the fracture. It heals the break. So your body can heal and lose weight when it's given the proper nutrition, the proper environment, the proper support in which to do so. See, you're not broken. Your body might just be protecting you. Body's very good at that. So, and by the way, the same principle applies to metabolism. Okay, you can heal your metabolism. So, are you ready to become the healthiest version of you? Are you ready to learn the 4 moves to get you there? Let me know in the chat. Are you ready? I was going to say, are you ready to rumble? Sorry, we used to do, what was that, WWE wrestling back in the, I'm a child of the 80s, so rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. All right, so the 4 moves that make weight loss inevitable. I'm going to name them and we're going to go through each. The right nutrition, the right environment, the right hormones that are balanced, okay, and the right mind. I'm going to go through all 4 of these. And these are science-backed, by the way. These are backed by science. The right nourishment, okay? So it's not about eating less. It's about eating the right food for your body. It's not about eating less. It's about eating the right food for your body. See, because you might have some food intolerances that are driving the inflammation and the weight gain. It can be avocados, it can be pineapple, it can be spinach, it can be certain types of protein. Me, it's grains. My body doesn't like grains. My blood sugar shoots up. So even what we all can agree on as healthy food can be an unhealthy food for your body if your body is intolerant to it. And it'll make you gain weight and make it very difficult to release weight because you're consistently eating those foods and your inflammation is just high. It just runs high, chronic inflammation. And a lot of women undereat nutritionally, not undereat volume of food. There's a lot of women who tend to overeat volume of food, but they undereat nutritionally, meaning they're not getting enough vitamins, nutrients, magnesium, B complex, A, C, D, E. A lot of women who are deficient in magnesium. A lot of women who are low on their D, which is actually a hormone. We call it vitamin D. So, and also when you have the right nourishment, you're naturally balancing your blood sugar, which is necessary for everyone, not just if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic. You really need the right nourishment for your body to balance your blood sugar because blood sugar instability is the #1 driver of inflammation, and inflammation is the #1 driver of dis-ease in the body and weight gain. So diabetics, you're looking at highs, consistent highs, right? Numbers are running high, A1C is high. Well, for those with food intolerances or blood sugar instability whose numbers in A1C aren't shown pre-diabetic or diabetic, you can be high, low, high, low, high, low. Either you're eating lots of sugar, sugary things, or things that turn right to sugar, or food intolerances. Your blood sugar goes up and then it drops fast because you're not utilizing that sugar for energy. High, low, high, low, high, low, just as damaging. Got inflammation going on because your blood sugar is not regulated, it's not balanced. The right nourishment also means filling in those nutrient gaps. Sometimes there is a need to supplement if there's huge nutrient gaps, especially since our soil is so depleted and we're not getting the nutrients we used to get back in the 1940s and 50s when we were more farm to table back then. So this was my client, Patty, who in her 60s She came to me one day after working with me, and when she was working with me, she said, "You know what? I'm eating like a 21-year-old boy." I'm like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Because I'm thinking college age, they don't eat the healthiest, right? She goes, "I'm eating volume of food like a 21-year boy." And I said, "Well, do you know why that is?" She goes, "Because I'm eating for my body. I'm eating lots of food, but I'm in the best shape and weight of my life." In her 60s. So her calories were way above what a lot of dieting apps, which I hate that dieting apps because they're dinging you on the calories. I'm like, I don't focus on calories. So she was well above like 2,000 calories, but she was eating for her body foods that her body thrives on, foods that are nutritionally dense, proper amount of protein. So the right nourishment means also, are you getting enough protein for your body? Do you know how much your protein needs? Do you know what the type of protein that your body thrives on? Do you know the amount of carbohydrates that your body thrives on? Yes, we can throw out numbers when it comes to macros, but even with that, it's still very individualized for everyone. Do you know the amount of fat you should be consuming? How much healthy fat? Okay. Do you know if you have any nutritional gaps? So that's the right nourishment. Then the second move is the right environments. This includes your internal environment, what's going on in your body, and your external environment, because your external will impact your internal. So what is your kitchen setup? What's in your pantries? Do we have donuts and cookies right in visual range so that when you see it, you go grab it? Do you have a lot of packaged processed foods in your pantry? Look at your cleaning products. There's toxins and chemicals in the cleaning products. Look at how much you use. Look at your relationships. Are there any toxic relationships? Because that will definitely impact you. What about your workplace stress? All of these play a role. Your external environment. What about your home? Is it cluttered? Is your work area cluttered? Is there anything you can do about it? Clutter causes stress on the body. You might not feel it, but the stress response is on in a cluttered environment. Internal, so that's external. Let's talk a little bit about internal. By the way, that was just a few. Your blood sugar, which I mentioned earlier, is your blood sugar balanced? Is it stable, right? Is your inflammation, your body's inflammation low, or is it high? How about your toxic burden, the toxins you're exposed to via your food, your shampoos, your conditioners, your makeup, your cleaning products? Have you been exposed to mold? By the way, do you know what your blood sugar is, your blood glucose? Do you know what your numbers are? Have you had your inflammatory markers checked? Usually in Western medicine, it's just one lab that they look at, right? So there are markers to check for all of the above. Where are you with that? And the 5 people you hang around, your circle shapes your health. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. So my mentor that I work with, he often says, in a family of thieves, those who steal, a child who does not steal will feel like they don't belong. And so in order to belong, they will start stealing. Why? It's because we are the average of the 5 people we hang around. So if you have a family environment or a friend environment, once again, no shame or blame, they can be on different journeys, but we will often gravitate to their same kind of eating styles, same lifestyles, very similar. So success means that the friction is removed and the healthy choices become easy. So one of my clients in my program, Lily, her bloating significantly decreased and her cravings were gone within 3 days by simply lowering her toxic burden and looking at her environment, external and internal. Within 3 to 5 days, she was seeing results just by that. So that's your environment. Once again, this is all science-backed. That was move number 2. Move number 3, balancing the right hormones. So I'm not just talking about the female hormones that hit us in perimenopause or menopause. I'm talking about cortisol. Why? Because hormones are traffic lights of metabolism. Cortisol, we need it for stress. I talked about that on day 1. But chronic stress, your cortisol remains high, and that can lead to your body storing fat, making it very difficult to release the fat to get rid of that. So how are you managing your stress? The second hormone is insulin. It helps us to regulate and to balance blood sugar. But if that's out of balance or you have insulin resistance, the sugar is not going to respond appropriately. That will lead to inflammation, weight gain, and poor health. Next two hormones are leptin and ghrelin, which is your hunger, ghrelin, think growl, ghrelin is your hunger hormone, tells you when you're hungry. And leptin is your appetite suppression. It tells you when you're satisfied. Stop eating, you're not hungry. If those are unbalanced, you can feel like you're hungry all the time, or you don't know when it's time to refuel. You can't tell when you're full. Hungry all the time, or you can't tell when you're full. So now you're overeating. And once again, it's not necessarily volume of food, but it tends to be the food that your body does not thrive on. The next hormone is human growth hormone. This is an amazing hormone. We really want our body to make more of this human growth hormone because it helps you to burn fat more efficiently. It actually helps to lower cortisol naturally. It helps you to have better muscle and bone support. Helps you to have that lean muscle. So with human growth hormone, when all these hormones are balanced, you're better able to exchange the fluffy fats because 5 pounds of fat is fluffy. There's more kind of takes up more space than 5 pounds of protein because protein's lean and muscle, it's lean. So they weigh the same, but they look different, which is why when you start to release the fat and gain muscle, the scale might not look the same. The scale might not change, but your clothes are looser because fat's fluffy. So human growth hormone, by the way, when you have move 1 and 2, the right nourishment and the right environment, this one right here, balancing the right hormones, is a lot easier. It starts to come into play way before move number 3. And let's talk about perimenopause, menopause, whether it hits you in your 30s, 40s. When you start to have symptoms, whether it be hot flashes, night sweats, anxiety, lots of things can come into play, the seemingly overnight weight gain, the insulin resistance. When you have moves 1 and 2 in place, symptoms significantly decrease. So this happened to me about, probably going on 3 years ago now. And so I was starting to have some night sweats. Why? Perimenopause. Bounce were starting to shift. And I was looking at what I was doing. I'm like, yeah, and I know women who, you ever wonder why someone has the symptoms full blown and other women don't, right? Here's one of the reasons why. Big reason why. So I noticed when I was looking at my labs, I was a little toxic. I was inflamed. I was a little toxic. So troubleshooting things, I put my critical hat on as a nurse and a functional medicine nurse at that, is I had some toxicity and also some food intolerances going on. So when I started to offload toxins and chemicals, getting them out of my body, which by the way, your fat cells, obesogens will create more fat cells. So your fat cells will encapsulate or suck in the toxins and chemicals. So they're not free floating into your body so that you're not sick. All you know is you got some weight gain going on. You're inflamed, you got some achy joints. But your body, it's a self-protective mechanism. Isn't that amazing? Prevent you from getting really, really sick. Your body creates more fat cells to encapsulate these toxins and chemicals. So when you offload, your fat cells go, oh, we're getting them out. We're urinating out these toxins and chemicals, and obesogens go, I don't need to make any more fat cells. And then you actually just urinate out the fat cells. So once I offloaded, I have had night sweats since then. And because I make sure that I offload and detox, there's a whole thing to it, a little bit more regular. But yeah, why? I was balancing also the cortisol hormone. I was balancing estrogen dominance with that one. Estrogen dominance is usually an indication that you're toxic overload. So balancing the right hormones. So it's not just those that hit us during perimenopause and menopause. Adrenals, cortisol, human growth hormone, leptin, ghrelin, insulin, they all impact you way before that time in life. Now the right mind. This is so crucial. And it's so much more than just mindset. That's the catchphrase a lot of people use nowadays, a proper mindset, but it's so much more than that. So remember I mentioned identity in the unconscious subconscious mind when I showed you that iceberg of everything that diets and weight loss programs don't address, which is a lot, right? And if you don't address all of them in some way, shape, or form, some women have to address certain ones more than others, then you're going to gain the weight back. You're going to have this cycle of weight regain. So we have to get to some of the root is the unconscious mind, hence the right mind, meaning you have now programmed your mind, once again, it's binary, yes, no, hot, cold, in, out, to fill the jar of getting what you want, your end results, being a woman of health. So you have to reprogram your brain. How do you do that? You take action. But how do you take action consistently? Usually it's the question, right? How do I take action consistently? Well, we might need to deal with body and protector mode. We might need to work on your identity. You might need to work on your body legacy. And you might need to address some other things. Once again, the unconscious mind is all about survival, not thriving. Not at all. It repeats patterns. It puts you back where you were because it's surviving, because it knows you did not die. And when I first was learning all about this, I kind of chuckled. I'm like, but when I release weight, like, I'm not going to die. Like, that sounds so silly. Like, what's up with that? But in essence, that's what the unconscious, the subconscious mind does. It thinks you're going to die because you haven't proven significantly enough or often enough that when you release the weight, you're not going to die. If you add in any past trauma, body legacy, all of this, your unconscious mind goes, we've survived all of that crap. Let's put circumstances in place to where you're actually repeating these patterns and surviving those. Hence the weight regain, going back to eating the sugar, going back to eating the junk food. And so you will self-sabotage. This is where self-sabotage comes into play. It's survival. It's survival. So you need an identity shift. You need an identity that serves you. My past identity was I am a binge eater. So one of my clients, Brandy, she went from I am a sugar addict to I am now a woman of health. Gina went from I'm exhausted mom and grandmother to I am an energetic woman. We worked on these mindset shifts, identity, and the unconscious mind work. So let's talk about Brandy. See, with Brandy, she lost 6 pounds in 7 weeks. And you might think, well, that's not a whole lot of weight. I can lose more weight on this boot camp over here. Well, absolutely. But you got to understand, she was shifting fluffy fat for muscle, which is why the scale didn't look significant for some people. But she got so much more than weight loss. See, Brandy had a huge vision for her life, but her weight was an obstacle and her health issues were an obstacle to her living out that vision she had for her life. See, Brandy is a licensed clinical social worker, and she works specifically with the homeless population where she lives. She has a heart for that community. She said, oftentimes, even though I have an office and they can come and get services, they might not have transportation. They might not feel comfortable coming in. So she and her coworker will drive out to the forest where they live, and the forest is huge. And she said, you can only drive so far. And then you have to get out of your car. She's like, I got to carry food because they give them food and water when they make their trips out there. She goes, we got to carry the food and water. And she goes, and it's Florida, so trees are down by, the weather and things like that. She goes, we're like going over the trees that are down, pulling branches out of the way to get to where they live in their tent community. She said, I can barely get halfway there, and I have to stop and catch my breath. Sometimes I physically can't even get over the tree. My coworker has to help me over. She said, I want to have the stamina to do that. I want to be the literal hands and feet of Jesus. I want to serve them where they're at, to give them the food and the water and to sign them up for services if they so desire. She goes, but right now I can't do it. Can't do it. I said, Brandy, that is an amazing vision. I love that. Let's get you there. So we helped her with the right nourishment, move number 1. We helped her with the right environments, helping her to manage her stress better, helping with her external and her internal environment. Helped her with move number 3, balancing these hormones. But for Brandy, she had an identity of a woman who, for years, constantly struggled with with weight. She was always the overweight or obese person in her peer group or family. That was her identity. Soon as we started to work on that identity work, things were shifting a lot more faster for her. And I'll never forget the day when we got on session together and she said, I did it. I'm like, tell me about it. What did you do? She said, I went out and I was the hands and feet of Jesus and I carried the food. Excuse me, no, she carried actually the water, the packet of water. She goes, and I went over those trees and I went through the brush. She goes, and I didn't get out of breath. And I was there. I was able to give him food and water because before her coworker would have done almost everything by the time she was able to get there. Because Brandy would go, go, keep going. I'll get there eventually. She goes, but I was there. I gave them the food. I gave them the water. I was the hands and feet of Jesus. I said, Brandy, that was so amazing. You can see tears coming down her face. So she didn't just lose weight and improve her health. She got her vision for her life. So potentially there's a vision that you have for your life, but it could be your weight or your health is an obstacle to you getting there. You deserve to live your vision. So here's why other programs fail. First off, they completely skip the whole mind component. They skip the whole mind component completely. Or when it comes to nourishment and food, they're not looking at you as one of one. They're putting you on the same eating plan. They're not addressing food intolerances. They're not addressing nutritional gaps. They're not addressing the right nourishment for your own unique body. And the body can compensate pretty well, right? We can see some results, some success. But ladies, you might have discovered this for yourself. As soon as you hit perimenopause, it's like seemingly overnight, 20, 30 pounds have come on. And you're like, but nothing's changed. I'm doing the same thing. But see, you might not be doing what's right for your own body. And the body's been compensating pretty good along the way. So you didn't see a significant increase in weight. But then when hormones are shifting during perimenopause, your body is tired. It can no longer compensate to the extent that it was. Hence, the insulin resistance, increased inflammation, and the weight gain. See, lasting results come from incorporating all four moves, which I call the whole woman framework. Because that iceberg that I showed you earlier, that slide, when you dress the four moves, all of those come into alignment because body legacy is addressed in the mind. Identity, all those hard, difficult things that you might have faced in your life. Yeah, we need to look at that. So also diets aren't like a natural way. For me, I'm like, I don't want to do the junky junk synthetic stuff anymore. I did that working in ER in my survival years, going to the salads that have tons of sugar in the salad dressing and very anemic looking iceberg lettuce. I did the frozen pizzas. So for me, I'm like, I wanted in my own health journey something natural and I want it to be effortless. The word effortless does not mean without effort because the word effort is still in there, but I wanted to effort less when it came to this. I didn't want to be like a second full-time job because I've done some weight loss programs where I'm struggling to fit my life into it and it wasn't feasible. So holistic natural ways, it's not extreme, it's layered steps that fit into your life. And it's a way where your body and your mind are completely aligned so that the results last. It gets the root cause, not the Band-Aid, put a Band-Aid on the symptom method. Not put a Band-Aid on a symptom method. See, weight and poor health is your body's biofeedback that something is out of alignment, whether it be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, or all four. All the above. And so with the weight and the poor health, your body's going, hey, I'm trying to tell you something, but this was me back in the day. I was like, my body's the enemy. Come on, body, you're not working with me. My body's going, hello, sister. I'm trying to do what I can to compensate for what's been going on in your life. I wasn't getting to the root cause. Diets and most weight loss programs do not get to the root cause of why you've gained the weight in the first place, why you're regaining the weight, why you're going back to those old patterns of behavior that don't serve you. And you need a way that's sustainable. Can we just say that? Like on a lot of programs that I did, I'm like, am I going to have to do this the rest of my life? Like I literally thought that with a program where I lost a significant amount of weight. I'm like, yeah, but do I have to do this the rest of my life? I don't think this is feasible for me. Gained the weight back after that one too. So you might be wondering, yeah, but how do I make these four moves work for me, right? What does it look like for me and my life recipe, what's going on with me and my life? Maybe you're now a caregiver to elderly parents. I get that. How do you make it move? How do you get the nourishment and the environment and the hormones and the mind all flowing together with your life, your stress, your busyness, and your own unique body? Here's the truth. You do not need another diet. You do not need another program that doesn't serve you, doesn't work for your body or with your body. You don't need stricter rules. What you need is a system that actually works with your body and for your body. So that's why I created the Ultimate Beyond the Fork Blueprint. It is an 8-week experience designed to sync your meals, your mindset, and your metabolism so your own biology finally cooperates instead of fighting against you. So your own biology cooperates instead of fights against you. Like when I stopped fighting my body and I got everything in sync, effortless. So it all starts with your personalized eating plan. You got to know what you need to eat for your body. It's Saturday morning, 6:45 a.m. You wake up way before the alarm goes off. You shuffle into the kitchen. You pour some coffee and you brace for that 11 a.m. crash that you've learned to schedule your life around. No activities during that time. That's the leak. Every diet that you have tried, every program that you've tried, it actually shouted over your body's own cues and signals. See, in the blueprint, we actually build your personalized eating plan, one that listens to your body's signals, works with your body and for your body, and it calms that roller coaster. Studies the blood sugar, finally lets you trust food again. So that no more second guessing what's healthy, no more stressing over going grocery shopping. What do I put in my cart? What do I take home with me? Because by the end of 8 weeks, you'll know exactly what foods fuel your body. So the weight starts coming off, your energy rises, and cravings and the bloating fade. You get food freedom and confidence. I hear the theme of freedom. Almost every single woman who comes to me, they are looking for freedom. Picture this, it's 3 p.m. The fluorescent lights are buzzing. The stress is high. Your cravings hit seemingly out of nowhere, and you cave. You go to the break room. You get that last slice of birthday cake from the birthday party earlier. By 3:45, your crash hits again. See, food freedom means no more begging willpower to help you, to save you, because your confidence comes when every meal keeps your fuel gauge steady. There's no spikes, no slumps, just relief. So picture yourself in the coming days, walking in the kitchen and knowing exactly what to eat. No guilt, no shame, no confusion, no counting calories, no counting points. You are in control. The meals feel simple. Your body feels amazing. You have confidence and freedom around food, maybe for the first time in years. How would you like to have freedom and confidence around food? It's Thursday night. You shut the fridge door with your hip. You see your reflection in the glass of the oven. Your shoulders slump. See your yoga pants? They've left an indent almost tattooed into your waist because they're tight. And you whisper to yourself, why can't I just stick to anything? It's not you. You are not the failure. It's the plan. It's the structure. See, diets and most weight loss programs, they're like the broken maps. Like we no longer use like maps, physical maps from like AAA. They're the broken maps. See, the blueprint is a GPS system. It's built to match the terrain of your life. You've tried the shakes, you've tried the meal plans, you've tried the recipes, you've tried the apps, maybe you even tried the injectables, but none of them were designed for your unique body. And they didn't teach you how to reduce your inflammation, balance your blood sugar, fuel your body to heal, and release weight effortlessly. See, that's why cravings, fatigue, and weight regain keep coming back. Diets don't work, but a good system does. A good system does. And maybe you've been following system or systems that have not served you. Maybe you thought you did. Maybe you saw little to no results. Maybe you tried so many that you're like, screw it all, I guess this is gonna be the rest of my life. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. So why listen to me? Because see, years ago, I was on that green couch with my black cat Judah on one side, my gray tabby cat Zacchaeus on the other side, stuffing my face with red velvet cake. When I had my come to Jesus moment, literally going, "You go, girl!" Watching that romantic comedy because she's doing all the things. And that night, I swore, never again would I hand my power to a diet that hated my body, to a diet that didn't work with or for my body. And I found that they don't. Diets don't. See, I built this blueprint from the ground up. As a nurse, as a counselor, as a woman who's lived the shame cycle myself, I tested it on myself first. And then with hundreds of women who are now lighter, freer, and finally relaxed around food, I learned how to build from the inside out. And now I help women over 30 do the same. So the ultimate Beyond the Fork Blueprints is an empowered eating system where you get your power back, you step into your power with a system that's proven to work again and again and again. So diets aren't designed for your body. They're one size fits all, very cookie cutter. You're all following the same plan, which is why they fail. So it's kind of like, imagine your phone is stuck on like iOS 7. You're trying to download new apps on your phone, but it's glitching out. It doesn't run smooth. Maybe it freezes your phone. That's your metabolism on diets and a lot of weight loss programs. Your metabolism kind of gets stuck. It's glitchy. It's not working efficiently. And so the blueprint is the system update. When eating, when your hormones, when your environment and your mindset sync, your body finally exhales, the hunger smooths out, the afternoon crashes flatten, the cravings go away, the weight has nowhere left to go except bye-bye. The fat specifically. The ultimate Beyond the Fork Blueprint is different. It's not about restriction. I'm not about restriction. I'm not about depriving myself. It's about truly aligning your eating with your body's signals so your body naturally heals, resets, and lets go of the weight. Let's say that again. Okay? It's aligning your eating with your body's signals. The body's constantly giving you feedback. You might not be listening to it. Sometimes we tell ourselves, that's not my body talking to me, it's something else going on, right? Or you might be too toxic to actually hear those signals as well. The body's constantly giving you feedback. So, picture this now. It's 3 p.m. The vending machine hums, possibly calling your name, louder than the lights. You're exhausted, half focused, desperate for sugar. Now imagine the opposite. You're steady, you got your focus, you've got your energy, you're clear-headed. That's what happens with this 8-week blueprint, because here's what you'll experience. We're going to build your personalized eating plan so you know exactly what to eat for your body. You'll reset your metabolism. Let's get your metabolism working for you. You'll cut cravings with the Sweet Relief Cut the Sugar workshop, which is a bonus in the blueprint. Everything works for you to cut the cravings. But if you're one that I love sugar, the Sweet Relief Cut the Sugar workshop helps you with practical tools and strategies to cut down naturally on that. You'll learn to balance blood sugar and your hormones naturally. Yes, there are guides, there are handouts, there are cheat sheets that make it easy and simple to follow. And every week we'll meet, sit down across from each other, you'll share what's working, what's not, we'll troubleshoot together until it clicks. You also get what I call a fast path to health and weight loss call, an onboarding call to set you up for success during your 8 weeks in the program. By the way, you maintain access to the curriculum, all the videos, all the handouts. You can go back to again and again and again, which, by the way, the Metabolism Jumpstart I sell separately on its own, but it's included in the blueprint for you. You'll get a coaching vault. So if say you can't come to a couple of the coaching sessions, that's okay. Everything's recorded. It'll be in the coaching vault. Plus you get access to past coaching calls that you can watch immediately and get started. But not only that, if you enroll in the next 24 hours, I actually have a bonus for you so that you can get some quick wins. Even before the quick coaching call, I call it my inflammation kickstart. If you enroll in the next 24 hours, which is you get a done for you shopping cheat sheet, a clean shopping cheat sheet, so that you know like what staples you should have in your pantry, things that you should buy so that you're not stressing at the grocery store. You get a 7-day no processed foods challenge. So if you're like, yeah, I'm eating a lot of processed foods, this 7-day challenge will help you to start weaning off on those foods. And those who incorporate both of these start to see results before even the first coaching call. $97 for those, you get it for free because it's going to help reboot your energy, reduce your cravings, and calm your inflammation as well. So if they can, you can. So Gina, every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, she would come home exhausted, sit on her couch, having to call her family, say last minute, I can't go, I don't feel the best, no energy. See, Gina looked healthy on the outside, but on the inside, she was binge eating, she had some excess weight, and she had some autoimmune issues, and her energy was in the toilet. And she could only choose to do one thing, one activity. Come home, clean the house, cook dinner, or take her shower, or go play with her young grandchildren, or go see her adult daughter. She didn't have the energy to do everything. And she really wanted to be that fun grandma. She she was sitting on the sidelines of her life, and she didn't want to do that any longer. 3 weeks into the blueprint, she's texting me, oh my goodness, I've got energy. And when we met, she's like, you don't understand. When I sent you that text message, I was crying because I got energy that I haven't had in years. See, these women, they're not unicorns. They're women just like you. The only difference is that they decided to follow a new map. They didn't follow a diet. They followed the blueprint that's built for results. Yes. So if they can do it, you can too. You don't need another diet. You need a system that works. So here's the price point, and we're going to go into exactly the modules next and what you get with it. So it's normally $19.97 for this, but for the docu-series, it's $947. There are payment plans on checkouts. You can pick your payment plan. If you want smaller payments or larger payments, it's up to you. You get the Inflammation Fix Kickstart Pack when you enroll in the next 24 hours. You get that fast path to health and weight loss call to get you started and set up for success, help you navigate. You get the 8 weekly calls and you get the full curriculum. And by the way, you keep that curriculum with all of the updates as well. The choice is yours. So I often get this question. I get it. So I'm just going to answer it for you because I get it. So is this a good investment? I get asked this question. Is this really a good investment? And I got to be honest with you, like, I'm very biased. Like, I think it's a great investment, but I want you to listen to someone who was sitting right where you're sitting. Let me just make sure I optimize this so you can actually hear perfect.
I had a lot of joint pain, swelling, fatigue, low energy, and I've had those problems for years. To lose weight, but I saw one of your summits. My doctor referred me to the summit, and I saw you speak. I thought that maybe if I had worked with you, I might be able to get more energy. I was coming home from work and I would get in the shower. I barely could make it through my shower after work, and then I was done. I had no energy to enjoy, my hobbies, my grandchildren, even just clean my house. And that weighed on me mentally, socially. Your friends and your family, they get tired of hearing you say, no, I can't come, And so I could see that it was, having a detrimental effect in a lot of areas, and I wanted to do something. Over the years, I'm like everybody else. I read all these things on the internet, and maybe you shouldn't eat this, and maybe you shouldn't eat that. And I was unnecessarily, not eating different things just to see what would happen, not knowing. And so when I worked with you and I was able to really find out what are the things that are causing my inflammation, to flare up and cause me all these problems, I was able to come up with an eating plan that I knew I felt comfortable that I was eating things that were good for my body and not restricting things that didn't need to be restricted anymore. And so I think it just made me a lot more relaxed about food and eating, and then I also lost weight. I lost weight. It really made me feel more comfortable with, I really shouldn't be eating this. It's not good for me. It might be good for other people, but it's not great for me. And so I should try to, avoid that without wondering, It made me want to cry, really, because, I was able to, I came home from work, took my shower, and I actually felt like, let me get some stuff done around here. And I would babysit for my granddaughter, and I would want to do it and I would want to be with her, but I could hear myself being irritable with her. I could hear myself, not enjoying time that I was spending with her. So, the first time I was just able to really enjoy it and not get irritable, and it was very, I don't know, it just made me very happy to get to that point. So I appreciated it. I appreciated all the things that it helped. I have to say that's one thing that I really was, another eye-opening thing for me was, there's so many other aspects to getting healthy and losing weight other than just what you eat and how much activity you do. And it was mind-blowing every week after week, learning a new step and layering on and a strategy. It was really, really interesting to see that it's so much more than that. I've tried a lot of programs, in the past just to, stay healthy with my health issues, try to be as healthy as I can. And they weren't really livable. I mean, I could do them for a short amount of time. I did, at one point, when I just turned 50, I was like, okay, I gotta be healthy. And I did like beach body videos, and I was killing myself. And it wasn't a livable thing to do. Even my kids, my adult kids, were like, come out. So I've done a lot, I've done different things and they weren't livable. And I found that this program for me has been the most livable one, and I'm not overwhelmed. You know, the way you parse out the information and you layer on the strategies, I find that that was not overwhelming for me. I used to just mess up and be like, oh, well, that's it. I might as well just, you know. Yes. So yeah, it fit into my life. I felt it was doable. I didn't feel like if I messed up, that was it. So, and to be honest, you know, I questioned whether to join at first, and then I talked to my husband, and he said, you know, you're spending so much time and energy and money and everything else on all these doctors. You know, if this will help you, then you should do it. And he encouraged me to try, and I found it to be really helpful, and it's, you know, maintained me.
So that was Gina. And she also stopped binge eating and released weight as well for her. So, like I said, don't take my word for it. So this is for you if you are ready to stop the Monday start over spiral, the Sunday night promise where you have every intention and doing well for the week, but by Wednesday you're eating the pizza and the ice cream. This is for you if you want to release weight and get healthy without dieting. No more midnight binges. No more apps chirping at you while your kids beg for attention. This is for you if you're open to holistic natural strategies that will help you to calm the stress hormone, cut the cravings, and help your body to finally exhale and release the weight. And by the way, improve your health. So if this is for you and you know it's time, not next Monday, not after the holidays, not when work slows down, now, because waiting isn't neutral. Waiting is costing you. And most importantly, if you're ready and you know it's time to stop putting this off and finally invest in yourself because you know your health and your life are worth it, you know you are worth it. If that's you, then the Ultimate Beyond the Fork Blueprint is your next step. So here is what's included. Once again, you keep all of this, okay? Once the 8 weeks end, you still have access to everything. We start with looking at your goals, and there's a way to set them that I'm a little bit different than everyone else. You gotta set clear, well-informed goals. We have to anchor them in, and we have to find your MOFA, and that's all in Module 1. Module 2, we're looking at the food you're currently eating and the impact that it has on your body. We're starting to listen to the biofeedback that your body gives you, okay, to help you make those connections, and I help you with that. Then we have to honor hunger and fullness. How do you know when you're hungry? How do you know when you're full? Start that intuitive listening to your body, because the body's constantly giving you feedback. Let's start listening to that. Module 4, really get into the nitty-gritty of what to eat for your body. This is not one size fit all, okay? It's to help you get to where you want to go. You're building your own personalized eating plan that works with your metabolism and your lifestyle. You heard Jean, she said, I was eliminating foods. I really didn't have to eliminate. She did find she had quite a few food intolerance as well, which was holding on to the weight and driving her autoimmune issues. Yeah. Module 5, Metabolism Jumpstart. This is going to really rev up the weight loss, help you reset your metabolism, lower your inflammation, and break through plateaus with a proven reset method. Typically, we see an average weight release of 10 pounds. We've seen as much as 14 pounds within a 2-week time span with Module 5. You get bonuses, Sweet Relief, Cut the Sugar Workshop, and your Complete Success Toolkit, which is bonus guides, recipes, cheat sheets, done for you resources that help make things easier for you. So the choice is yours. Okay. You've seen what happens when you try to do it on your own. Trying to figure this out on your own, more money wasted, more time wasted, more Monday start overs. You've seen the cycles, the 3 p.m. crash, the late night fridge raids, the Sunday night meal prep graveyard that goes nowhere. Now imagine 8 weeks from today. You're halfway through your shift. You're steady and focused, no cravings. Dinner is real food that fuels and nourishes your body. There's no guilt, no shame, no confusion. And by the way, you actually enjoy your food. The scale is moving in the right direction. Your clothes are looser. You can fit into the clothes that are currently in your closet without you obsessing over calories or counting points. That's what the blueprint delivers. That's what the blueprint delivers. See, you have a choice. The choice is yours. You have a choice. You can either choose to figure it out yourself. Month 1, look at your goals. Month 2, try to figure out what foods are best for your body. Month 3, trying to reset your metabolism. Month 6, and investing in piecing this all together, which can cost you thousands of dollars. I spent well over 10,000 myself. Or you can choose option B and use my system. Redirect that energy into a system that finally works with your body and for your body. So you get to choose. If you want to stop spinning your wheels, if you want to stop the Monday start over spiral, if you want to have results sooner rather than later, faster than slower, that invites you into joining the Beyond the Fork Blueprints. You get that 24-hour bonus when you enroll in the next 24 hours. Are there any questions about the blueprint that I can answer for you? I do have a little bit of time. Any questions? Once again, payment plans are on checkout. You see your options once you hit the checkout for that. And now also, once you enroll, you'll get an email to schedule your Fast Path to Health and Weight Loss call with me. And then from the Fast Path to Health and Weight Loss call, we get you set up for success in the program and get you going. So that 8 weeks from now, you have a new normal, a new reality. Karen, I went over the common mistakes earlier in the session. Common mistakes are dieting, not eating for your body, not addressing food intolerances, stress, sleep. Yeah, they're common mistakes. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. They're common mistakes. All right. So the replay will be up for this later. If you hopped on a little bit into the session today, this will be uploaded by 8 p.m. tonight. So when you get your 8 p.m. email, this session will be uploaded into the portal. You have 48 hours to catch today's session. So you have until Friday at 7:59 a.m. Eastern Time to catch up with everything. For today, day 2 is still open, but it closes tomorrow. Day 1 is closed. So thank you. It's been my honor to support you and to help you. You get to choose. The choice is yours. What will your choice be? Health and vitality, or still in survival mode? The choice is yours. Have a great day, everyone. To your health, we'll catch you next time. Bye.